Kyle should be joining us very shortly. I have so many questions for him. What did he add? What was the thing he added?
Slow cooker.
Kyle added a slow cooker to like the preemptive list, and I don't know why. We're very confused.
What's up?
Can you explain to us why there is a slow cooker on this list?
I would be happy to.
What's up, guys, and welcome to Laser Everything. It's Prime Day. Woo! So we're here to help you spend your money. It, as always, is a little bit of a fundraiser for us when these Prime Days come up because we are sharing a bunch of affiliate links with you guys. So we may make some money at no cost to you if you choose to buy anything in this list with the affiliate link that we provide. Just a disclaimer at the beginning, it helps support the channel and all the fun things that we do here. Rhiannon is here today.
Hello.
And Rhiannon helped me build this list. Kyle is somewhere. I don't know where Kyle is. And he'll probably jump in like halfway through randomly, as Kyle does from time to time. But we have a very large list of things to go through today. If you want to follow along, you can go down into the description. Under the affiliate link section, there is a link where you can see this spreadsheet right here and follow along with us. Also, before we get started, ironically, this live stream is sponsored by Johnson Plastics Plus. We love you guys, and they're actually going to come in as a key player about halfway through this list, and I'm going to leave it a surprise as to why, but we need some stuff from them that we couldn't find on Amazon, and we're going to explain that when we get to it. But they did sponsor today's stream, so make sure to go check out that link down in the description as well. We have a coupon code that always gets you 15% off just about everything in the store. It's YLRZDF, and if you use that code, you can save some money, even though they're not Amazon. Kyle should be joining us very shortly. I have so many questions for him. What did he add? What was the thing he added?
Slow cooker.
Kyle added a slow cooker to like the preemptive list, and I don't know why. We're very confused.
What's up?
Can you explain to us why there is a slow cooker on this list?
I would be happy to. The idea behind a slow cooker is it's an easy way to basically make a meal where you're nutritioning yourself properly and not just eating crap fast food. A lot of us are guilty of working 12 to 16 hours for the next 3 months or 2 months during the holidays. So it's hard to eat properly and also still get crap done. I have the same crock pot on there and I've been using it for years. I also suggested mini fridges and stuff to go in the mini fridge. Gorilla Glue gun. You can't really go wrong. These sticks, by the way, are freaking fantastic. A cash box, being able to organize your cash as a business, it makes it a little bit more professional and it makes it feel a lot less sketchy. Especially if you're doing travel events, a cash box is like invaluable. Compressed air duster. If you're trying to get away from these things, this is a fantastic option. It's great for cleaning. It's great for dusting out stuff under the laser when you don't want it to move. I use something similar for cleaning off the Galvo head lens when I don't want to physically touch it. When you're in the middle of a deep engrave, if there's any buildup, it's fantastic for that too. Tool organizer. This is a pretty sweet deal. You got a lot of stuff floating around the shop, particularly that run off of batteries. This is a great way to get them all in one place. This would literally be fantastic as like a charging station. Probably going to order one of these actually at the end of stream. And it is significant percentage off. It's 43% off right now. Pretty solid. Typical microfiber cleaning cloths. They're fantastic for cleaning. I use them all the time after a post engrave, particularly on powder coated tumblers. Melamine followed up with a wipe with this. That's it. And speaking of melamine sponges, these guys are fantastic for powder coat tumblers. The very best. The guys at the shop added a electric standing desk. $89. Great way to get into the habit of standing up while you work. And Miranda says, we just bought that desk for me. Awesome. Goes up and down. It helps you not destroy your back while you're working. And here's a more different standing desk. $127, 20% off, and it's also on wheels. If you need it to kind of move in and out of a corner or against a wall, maybe this is a better option for you. On top of the 20% off, you also get a $10 off coupon. Continuing on with the list, magnetic tool holder strips, getting tools up out of your work area so that you can work in it. And then when you need it, you pull one down and you do what you need to do. And then you put it back. A lumber storage mount, super huge. These just mount to the studs in your wall so you can adjust how wide they are. And actually, I've seen people use these as drying racks too. Lots of different little options. We got the WorkPro adjustable garage workbench. So Alex has a bunch of these in the shop and they're super helpful. You can actually replace the feet with casters if you really want to. They're super solid. They handle the CO2 laser, the UV laser, the fiber lasers. These are all of Alex's workbenches in the shop, essentially. 20% off right now, which is a fantastic deal. A lot of people might have more than one laser, or their computer in particular is nowhere near where the laser is in terms of where the room layout is. So if you're actively trying to align something like this can be super helpful, where you can kind of control it while you're standing at the laser. And it's just a cheap little keyboard that gets the job done. Asus Vivobook Go. This is ridiculously cheap. If you're doing a bunch of photo editing and manipulation for product photos, this will get it done, but it's probably not ideal for that. This is more for like the user who wants to run light burn or do project design while they're on the go. If you can't sit in your shop all the time, or if you're traveling to and from work, this is fantastic. It's super light, super thin, easy to store in a backpack. It's got 8 gigs of RAM, which is more than enough for light burn, a pretty modern Ryzen CPU in it, and it's got a 512 gig SSD. So it's got plenty of storage. For $299, I feel like it's pretty difficult to go wrong. And we're up to a Lenovo ThinkPad. So this is definitely an Alex pick here, a sucker for Lenovo's. A ton of RAM, a ton of storage, a Ryzen 7 CPU, and a bigger price tag. It's still 15% off, save $150. I really, 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 really like the little dimple trackpad. This is an even beefier laptop. If you really need to do a ton of photo editing, if you're video editing stuff on your laptop, this is probably going to be a better option for you. It's got a ton of storage. If you're doing product display stuff for advertising or anything like that, and you're doing a lot of video, this is going to have the storage to kind of help. It's a little overkill and ridiculous, but the price for what it is not bad. You get the little dimple. So this is another Alex pick, being a Lenovo ThinkPad. And in fairness, they are built very well. They review very well. All right, so we got our Dell monitors here. So there's a couple of them. There's a 27-inch and a 24-inch, I believe. So these are IPS panels. So they're pretty decent panels, $139. And Dell makes really, really nice monitor panels. Here's the 24-inch. They're not super fancy, but they're also not super expensive. Acer has a 27-inch monitor. It's IPS. And it's your typical 27-inch monitor. $90 is ridiculously cheap.
Yeah,
Not bad.
Acer is like nowhere near the best stuff on the market, but it's utilitarian and inexpensive. You know,
you're not getting like crazy height tilt adjust with this.
It's just going to sit there and be a monitor.
It's going to sit there and do its thing for you.
This thing, guys, so I actually have it right here. This thing is super dope. It's got a backlit keyboard, and it's got a little scrolly wheel on it so you can scroll, and left, right mouse buttons. I've tested like many of these because I use them all the time. There are really crappy ones and really good ones, even from the same brand. Like these are both the rebrand. This one sucks. The trackpad on this one is really, really, really good. This one is a very, very specific pick, and I was delighted to see that it was on sale for the Prime Day thing. You can get a Bluetooth one if you don't have a full-size USB port for the 2.4 gigahertz dongle. I find them really useful in the shop, so hopefully you guys do too.
I like that. I'm adding this to the list of crap for me to order at some point. Nobody ever has enough storage, let's be honest.
This is an Alex ad. My new thing is, instead of walking around with flash drives, I've just been walking around with SSDs. I just keep them in my backpack, and I take them back and forth from the shop with me, and they have virtually all of my data on it. There's almost zero data on my actual desktops anymore. And one of the follow-up items to this one is a dock where you can literally just plug it in via USB, and you pop these in and you can access the data. I would never recommend you do this with like a spinning disk drive. They're not meant to be traveled with, but the SSDs are solid state. They're fine. It's not a big deal. I linked the WD Blue one, not only because it's one of the only ones I could find that were actually on a Prime Day sale. Virtually zero SSDs are on sale for some reason. But WD Blue is like a really standard drive too. It's a really standard drive. A terabyte is a lot of space. So if you want to go back to the olden days and sneaker net your data around, which is what I've been doing, the SSDs back and forth between computers are some of the best price per gig that you can get. That's my input on that.
I just like the idea of installing it in your computer and leaving it there.
Yeah, it's a
Even if you don't need
terabyte.
storage.
These aren't the exact docks I have, but a dock's a dock. It's just there to get the SATA connection to USB, and they all work about the same way. So I picked a couple that I thought treaded the line nicely between inexpensive but didn't seem like buckets of garbage.
And another one.
Yeah, it's just another.
So you got your options.
I just gave a couple options. Having a like low power digital microscope like this to be able to see your work, do timings and laser tuning and things like that. It's it's something we talk about a lot on the channel. Extremely, extremely handy, especially when you're trying to dial your machines in. And when providing microscope images is going to get you much better assistance from us than pictures with your phone. So
yeah, if we can see what you're seeing, it's a game changer.
Yep.
I have this label printer.
Oh, you have that exact one?
Of your list. I have the black version right here.
Nice. Do you like it?
I love it. I've printed a couple hundred labels off of it so far in the last several months. Zero issues with it. There's also different size labels. You can actually do like the little circle labels. You can make like little happy faces for product stickers and slap them on the outside of the box saying thanks for supporting my business or whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah, I've seen people make stickers with them. When we were adding these to the list, again, we kind of did the more expensive, cheaper version is the next link, but there's a ton of brands of these online.
So here's another thermal printer.
That one's just a cheaper version that I found. I don't
so
have
just
any
a cheaper
experience with it. Kind of on that point, the next link is a printer. And I have the Epson EcoTank, and this is a Canon kind of version of it, and we put it on there just because the refillable ink cartridges are really nice. You just stick them in, squeeze it out until it's almost empty, and then it's lasted me forever so far.
Well, at least it's Canon and not Canon. So it should be decent.
Yeah, they save you a ton of just, I guess, stress mostly for me, and then time and money.
I'm a label nerd. I have a really nice Brother P-Touch label maker that wasn't on sale, but this one is actually really good too. I've used this one in the past. Label things, guys. I label everything. Label makers are also thermal printers and thus are very expensive, and this Brother one is not. This is actually a decent Prime Day deal. So $45 for a label maker that takes a standardized tape roll. Not a bad deal. So you like making labels, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's been very helpful being new to your shop, being able to find all of Alex's stuff.
And there's even more things that we could label that are not labeled. So we should label those too. This is not on sale, but it's really, really inexpensive, and it's made by Epson. So if you guys don't have one of these and you run anything even remotely close to a job shop, or even if you don't, getting high resolution scans is super key to being able to produce quality work. People bring us recipe cards, signatures, fingerprints, paw prints of their animals. I mean, we're scanning stuff all the time, and having the high quality scans really makes a huge difference when you're doing traces.
And it's super simple too. You have 4 buttons. Lighting, huge for product photos.
So we made sure that we selected one that would fit around the standard size Galva laser lenses if you wanted to use it for bed lighting too. We've seen tons and tons of people do that over the last couple of years, and a lot of people still haven't caught on. They're listing the outer diameter here, not the inner diameter, which is what's going to matter to you with your lens. If you can find a 6-inch version that's on sale, then I'd recommend you get that because you'll have a little more breathing room. This should give you enough room, but it's going to be tight, and a 6-inch one might be a little more comfortable. The light box. Did you add this one, Kyle?
I did not.
Oh, you added it, Rhiannon? That's nice.
I mean, I don't have one of these. If you want to go real cheap, what I do for my lanterns is just use like 2 pieces of
project board.
Yep, I've used like 2 of those, put one on the bottom and then one be the product. But this is nice for all sides. And
I like that they're using an LED array, because the last one of these that I bought had like ring lights and they only had like 4 LEDs on each one. And it was really difficult to diffuse that lighting. This one seems like it deals with that a little bit by adding an array of lights instead of just having one. So
yeah, and there are bigger sizes too and smaller ones.
hey, you guys are looking at this camera right now. Hi.
Yo.
There you go. This is the NexiGo webcam. It's not a super good webcam, but it's not a bad webcam. And the reason that we usually recommend webcams is for viewing your laser. A webcam is a great way to view your laser bed while it's running. Also, if you ever plan on going out to shows or events or doing this live in front of other people, exposing people to laser radiation, especially without their consent, is a grody thing to do. The best way to deal with that is to physically wall off the laser while it's working, point a webcam at it, have the webcam run out to a laptop connected to a monitor or something that you leave on your front table so that people can watch it while it's working. I like to point cheap cameras at my lasers when possible.
$34 is not bad.
The reason I added this is because I could not find sale, no sale, whatever. I could not find a single Amazon seller of leatherette that would explicitly tell me their leatherette was PU, polyurethane, for the uninitiated.
Could be vinyl.
It could be vinyl, and you literally would have no way to tell because the manufacturer, all they put on every single listing, everyone I looked at, ran and watched me look for like 45 minutes today. Every single one just says faux leather, which means nothing to me from a material standpoint. I think this is a great item to buy from our sponsor, Johnson Plastics Plus, because I have to mention them today because they're sponsoring this stream, but also because I can't find a single trustworthy source for a material that could potentially poison me on Amazon. And this seemed like a great way to integrate them into today's streams. You've seen me use this material, guys. We have a brand new episode on the channel where I literally test this stuff on like every single laser in the shop, and it's really, really good. It's super consistent. It is inexpensive. It comes in a bunch of different colors. And so if you are looking to do any kind of leatherette work, this is the way to go. Hey, toothbrushes. These are always a double win because you can engrave these because they're bamboo, but also these have really soft bristles, which are great to pair with the 3-in-1 oil and metals. So if you're brushing off the debris from like brass plaques or plates, these do a really good job along with the oil to lubricate that debris and remove it without putting huge scratches in the substrate. Matt was just talking about these the other night. Also super duper inexpensive. 60 for $20 is a no-brainer. They're adhesive on one side. There's a magnetic pairing, and I've used these with wood, acrylic, Romark, blackboard material, whiteboard material, you name it. This is a really, really handy piece of hardware for that. Did we mention that we had a lot of items?
And coolers, man.
Yeah, Arctic's not having a site-wide sale or anything, and most of their stuff on their store on Amazon is not on sale. But I thought these were a really good price, and they come in some interesting colors that you're not seeing on the Stanley stuff and the Yeti stuff right now. And you can still put a fairly good markup on these and make some money. I couldn't find any flat glass ornaments, period. I found a bunch of these in acrylic and glass. These are the only glass ones that I could find on sale. But if you're feeling ballsy, no pun intended, I think, especially for you UV laser owners out there, I think you could do some pretty rad stuff on one of these if you get it just right. I haven't tried this, and it's almost guaranteed to be a giant pain in the butt until you get a technique down. But $20 with the holidays coming up, I figured somebody out there is going to see this and they're going to want to make an attempt to do something creative with them.
Dog bone acrylic ornaments.
Yeah, I thought these were cute. It's just more.
Clear round acrylic.
Yep, clear round acrylic.
Same thing.
More of the same, different shape.
Easy enough to put a hole in one of these. Boom, ornament. Done.
You did some of these on live stream.
They could be coasters. They could be holiday. These would make cute holiday themed coasters too.
Coins.
Brass coins, queens. These aren't great for final products, guys, but they're really, really good for testing.
Most of the brass coins that I did on the channel, including the pumpkin coin, those are all done on these.
Kyle's done beautiful work, so obviously I'm wrong and Kyle is right.
Speaking of holidays,
you added these.
Yeah, I saw some on Amazon that was like a giant pack, not on sale, and I was like, that's kind of a good idea.
Those are cool.
Yeah.
Did you add those too?
I did. Yep.
Yeah, those are cute.
Cool little keychain.
I didn't see those at all. These are like some basic opaque acrylic sheets. I was like, cheap walnut, dude. Walnut's expensive. If this is real walnut, it's cheap. 12 by 12 inch. I would use this for so much stuff for $20. I'm about it. A 6-pack of those.
That's not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. So just more walnut if you want to get some walnut.
Walnut.
Walnut's really nice. It's a really dark wood, but it also engraves really, really dark with very little effort, and you still end up with great contrast on walnut. Basswood. Yeah, this is like the everything wood. It's not
That's
good.
what I use.
Yeah, Rhiannon uses it in all of her overpriced Etsy products.
Overpriced.
Hey,
I put a lot of work into
hey. Say it's a cutting wood rather than like a marking wood.
Yeah.
It's super soft, cuts really well, but you experience a ton of burnout when you're trying to mark this. So it's harder to get fine details on basswood. It's pretty low contrast too.
Coasters. Meow, 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 meow.
Oh, those are nice. Who added these?
I did.
Oh, those are good ones.
Yeah. I just like that they had the variation of the square and circle.
I'm just glad they're not bamboo. Everything's freaking bamboo.
Cutting boards.
Cutting boards. Yeah, I added these. I just thought they were really nice looking. I feel like it frames it up really nicely in that top section for like a name and a date or something. I see this as something that, like, if it was sitting on the wall in our showroom, this would be something people would request.
Cork coasters. I love these. These are one of my favorite things to mark on the CO2 Galvo. Slate coasters, the other option for your coaster needs. Also one of my favorite materials for fiber. 48 pieces for $37 is a pretty dang solid deal.
We've tested Slate on every single laser with the Slate from them. If you want to check out their stuff, again, there's a 15% off code that's always active down in the description. But Slate works well on every laser. Every single laser in the shop does great with Slate. It's black. It absorbs all laser wavelengths. So no matter what you have, Slate's always going to be a slam dunk.
And now back to cutting boards.
It's acacia. Acacia's one of my favorite woods. I really like acacia.
Wood in general engraves beautifully on a UV. CO2, UV, diode, doesn't really matter.
Your browser's starting to look like my grandma's.
This one's maple.
This one's also thicker. It's got that thick boy.
And Alex's favorite, bamboo.
And my favorite, bamboo. Guys, you can do nice stuff on bamboo. All you need is a diode laser. Diodes are super inexpensive. We'll talk about a couple options that you have, but diode lasers are the answer to bamboo. Tins, they're really popular with people that walk in not knowing what they want, and they cost virtually nothing. These are really great. They make them in steel too, which you can do some really nice anneal work on. So
stuff.
They're way cheaper than the multi-packs that like X-Tool will sell you. So don't buy those sample kits from those companies because they literally give you like 3 things and it's like $96. This is all the same garbage from the same manufacturers, but in a far less expensive kit available from Amazon.
This is perfect for somebody just getting started with
if you're just getting
new
started.
laser.
Yeah, dude, $50. I mean, you just get a mountain of shit for $50. Grab yourself a little test kit, especially if you're new, and just go nuts. That's how we get our best settings. I will just say be careful with that leatherette because I don't know what that leatherette is, and I didn't check the listing to see if they listed the material, though I'm sure with this many things included in the bundle, they don't.
It does say PVC in the material list, so maybe don't do it.
Maybe don't mark those. Throw those away. But I think the rest of the package is still worth it. Just don't mark the leatherette.
Yeah. And we're now into other laser items.
Wow.
Woo.
We still have a bit more.
You're a Levoit guy.
I am a Levoit guy. I actually have my 200S right there. This is the big boy one.
You still need an exhaust. This is not a replacement for an exhaust. This is not a fume extractor. This is just to remove the leftovers from the air that you're breathing so that you're not slowly giving yourself cancer.
This is actually an upgrade from my machine. $80. This actually, when it first came out, was $130. This is a U deal right here.
Yeah, I actually have this. I made 3/4 of a video about it and I never finished it because it didn't do what I wanted it to do, but it's still a really interesting tool. It's really nice for checking how hot like coins are getting, right? Or making sure that metal, if you're doing thinner metals or steels, making sure that those materials aren't getting so hot that they start to warp. It also makes really cool videos because you can slap an SD card in this thing and take photos or videos with it. To be able to pick up a real thermal camera for $230 that you can point at things on a laser bed is a really surprisingly solid deal. This particular product is just a multimeter. So if you have a multimeter, go to the next product. But if you don't have a multimeter, this one's really, really good. I give it kind of like a mini review in our episode about testing power supplies. So if you're having issues with your machine, having a multimeter can help you diagnose that. And I really like this one in particular. This was what kind of turned me on to the Kai Wheats brand to begin with. They're wire cutters. They're for cutting wires. Hey, they're wire strippers. They're for stripping wires.
Precision toolkits.
I have like 4 of these in my shop. Here's one right here. They're literally all the same. They have a billion different screwdriver heads in them, and they have a bunch of really interesting ones like Torx heads and all kinds of weird random stuff that you might need to get into various electronics devices. And I really appreciate having this on me just about every day of my life.
It's a more different one.
It's a more different one. This is a pouch style. This is another item that I added to the list that's not on sale, but it's a CO2 fire extinguisher, which is the fire extinguisher you need if you want to put out a fire in your laser without destroying it.
You also want to make sure you turn off your exhaust when you use something like this, because otherwise you're just sucking the air right through the laser. The other fire extinguisher. So these are the ones that are chemical fire extinguishers. They basically eat away stuff. They're great at doing what they do. They stop things from burning, which is definitely preferred over them continuing to burn.
Yeah, I'd rather lose the laser than the house, right?
Smoke and carbon monoxide alarms.
These also have the CO alarm built in, and CO will kill you without you knowing that it's killing you. So it's really good when you're burning something, anything, fuels, gas stove, or barbecuing, or burning fuel for a lantern or whatever. Carbon monoxide is really, really nasty, and it can make you super sick and kill you. And you can't see it and you can't smell it. So even if there's no smoke, you could be poisoning yourself with carbon monoxide. So having the CO functionality in here is a big plus, I think. Inline fans, don't waste your time clicking through all 3 of these links, Kyle, because I linked the R4, the R6, and the R8, which are all inline duct fans. So they're not going to do great against static pressure. They have the centrifugal fan. It's not on sale. It's the Z8, which is linked in the buying guide if that's something you're interested in. These are to be used more as boosters, and they are super inexpensive and on sale. I really like the VivoSun centrifugal fan that I have. I'm assuming, I haven't purchased one of their inline fans before. I'm assuming the quality is somewhere in the ballpark of their very high quality centrifugal fan.
Ultimate Air Assist. This is a good find. I don't know whose list this came off of, but I didn't see it on sale, and I'm glad you caught it.
More on that in an upcoming episode. Brilliance Laser Inks, $37.46 over $49.95, 25% off.
This is nice.
Yeah,
so,
dude.
honeycomb laser bed.
So cheap. The price is just like perfect, and I was like, I gotta add this. I would love to have a little tiny one, like a little tiny honeycomb bed to throw under the X tool, or if I was gonna cut on like the CO2 Galvo, if I was gonna cut things repeatedly, I thought something like this would be perfect. Great. So we were talking about those acrylic ornaments earlier. If you handle those with these gloves, you don't have to worry about wiping your disgusting oily fingerprints off of them. It's also really good for mirror finished metals, brass, anything that's going to corrode over time is always best to handle with these kind of gloves. I just bought like a huge bag of them.
Cloud Ray SNA 5200 basically.
These things are getting so cheap. Yeah, this is just an SNA 5200 with the Cloud Ray sticker thrown on the front of it. And they're tanks. Jimmy's ran when he passed away. It was still running. It was full of what Kyle called quote unquote swamp water. And it still ran and cooled the swamp water very well. So, I mean, you can just beat the living hell out of these things, and they work really good.
The X-Tool F1 desktop smoke air purifier.
Yeah, this thing's a little beast, and I use it a lot more than I thought I would. I use it on the WeCreate. I use it on the X-Tool F1. I would use it on the F1 Ultra if they would send one. It's a little hoss, dude. It actually does a really, really good job cleaning the air. I think the price is right. I don't think it's a steal right now, but I think if you buy it when it's on sale, like that's the price that you should be paying for it.
We're into lenses now, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. My only note here with the CO2 laser lenses is to make sure that you're getting the right diameter for your laser nozzle. So if you get the wrong diameter, it's not going to fit. That first layer of options is your diameter. The second set of options is the focal distance. The longer the focal distance, the greater your depth of field, but the larger your dot size. This might just be a inexpensive way to get your hands on some JG glass, which is never a bad thing. It is a little bit of a risk, but there's a good chance you are going to get a solid lens in the mail. It's a 50 by 50 millimeter lens. Not all of Cloudray's F-Theta lenses for fiber lasers are on sale, but this one is. If you have a laser that you think is underpowered, get this and watch it whip. 50 millimeter lasers focus your beam to such a fine point that even 20 watt lasers will feel super powerful. Of course, it's a 50 by 50, so your engraving space is literally going to be a 2-inch square, but it will be a super strong 2-inch square. And this is a super great way to mitigate issues when you find yourself faced with like really low power outputs.
And we're into machines.
The WeCreate Vision 20 watt, super awesome machine. Very cool. I had a lot of fun playing with it, and we have a complete unboxing and test video that is a lot of fun to watch. I actually really enjoyed that episode, and I really enjoyed this machine. And it does have a great diode module on it, built-in booster fan, standard sized exhaust port. It comes with a rotary, a knife table. It's a really strong contender right now as far as the diode laser space goes, and I would highly recommend it, especially if you're looking for something that's class 1.
The X tool.
The F1's a pretty sweet little machine. I haven't played with an Ultra because somebody hasn't sent it to me. X tool, but the regular F1 is a great little machine. I really, really like it. You guys have seen me do dozens of projects with it at this point. One of the great showcases for this machine is actually that Leatherette video I'd mentioned earlier. I also did some wood cutting projects that you guys haven't seen yet with this. Wood cutting projects. Yes, it's Lightroom compatible, but that's honestly not the best experience. It runs on the X Tool Creative Suite, which is a really solid piece of software. It's definitely gotten better over time. It's also a quarter of the price of the F1 Ultra. So while you only get the 2 watts of infrared out of this one instead of the dedicated fiber that you get out of the Ultra, the 2 watts was still able to do some pretty interesting things, and it compensates for the drawbacks of the galvo diode aspect of the machine fairly well despite its low wattage. $1,300 seems and feels pretty fair compared to the $4,500 asking price of the F1 Ultra these days. And I don't think that the regular original F1 should be written off just because the Ultra's out. Basically, this costs pennies now. This combo kit with the RA2 Pro is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars cheaper than it originally was when it released. It still uses a really awesome diode module, a nice big 400 by 400 millimeter bed. There's a lot to like about the X-Tool D1 Pro, and it is all, again, that much more digestible with its newer, lower price tags. This is a package that makes sense. So that's why I included this one.
The Ofero.
This is like the entry-level machines. This is the complete opposite of the X-Tool D1 Pro. It is some aluminum extrusions and a diode, and that is it. I mean, it doesn't even have limit switches. If you're looking for some expandability, but you don't want to start at $800, but you'd like to mess with some diode stuff and add diode to your laser lineup, this might be somewhere to look.
If you have like the tightest of budgets and you're not sure if lasers for you kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is a great starting point. And last but not least,
I specifically added the Laser Pecker 2 for the same reason I added the D1 Pro. This is a machine that's kind of been forgotten about in the wake of the release of like the F1 and the F1 Ultra. Not super good software, not a particularly interesting laser, but it does give you diode galvo capability in a neat and very, very small little package. When this came out, I think it was like $2,000. It was like the most overpriced thing I could ever possibly imagine. And now it's like $800, which I think is more fair. I don't think it's a steal, but I think it's more fair. And if you really want to play with the galvo aspect of diode lasers, this is probably on the lower end of the price points that I would be comfortable recommending. For mobile stuff, this really could be a solid option, especially if you don't want to dish out for the F1. All right, are we done?
We're done. That's
crazy.
the list.
Wow, that only took 3 hours. Brianna, I hope you learned something.
Yeah,
always. You like absorbing like a sponge.
Oh, yeah.
Links are, again, down in the description if you guys haven't, for some reason, seen that. That whole Excel sheet that Kyle was clicking through the entire episode is down there for your viewing and purchasing pleasure. They are all affiliate links, so when you purchase with those links, you help support the channel at no cost to you, so we really do appreciate that. If you would like to help support the channel even further and far more substantially, because affiliate income is kind of weak, you can go check out lasereverything.net/support, and there's a whole bunch of ways that you can support everything that we do here. All of our episodes, all of our guides, all of our databases, all of the website tools, everything, all of our communities. It's all run off of people just like you that support us because they want to, and we're super grateful for that as well. As always, though, if you got value out of this one, don't forget to smash the like button. Let everybody else know the content was good, and don't forget to subscribe. Most of our viewers are not subscribed. It's like 97% are not subscribed, which is bizarre. Please hit the subscribe button. It really helps us out, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get notified the next time we go live. And one final thought before we head out, guys, please do not buy Leatherette from Amazon.com. That's all I've got, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in for this one. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.